रेडी। जो मैं कंटेंट आपको डिक्टेट कर रहा हूँ ये आपको इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट नंबर 14 के नाम से मिल जाएगा। इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट 14 @100 और @80। आप पहले 100 भी लिखेंगे। रेडी, स्टार्ट इट। An integrated national education program, the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, has been launched for universalizing elementary education and a national mission constituted with the Prime Minister as chairman. The program aims to provide 8 years of equality elementary education for all children up to the age of 14 years in a mission mode with a thrust of community ownership, disadvantaged group and girls quality education and alternative modes of education. All existing schemes on elementary education will converge with this scheme after the 9th plan, and it will cover all districts in the country by March next year. We are determined to maintain and strengthen our competitiveness in the field of technology education. A task force set up for this purpose under the IIRD minister has made wide-ranging recommendations to upgrade and expand this area of education. The Roorkee Engineering College will be upgraded into an IIT, and funding for IIT Guwahati has been stepped up to ensure its early completion. The base of IIMs to be expanded, regional engineering colleges are to be strengthened, and new institutes will be set up with public-private partnership. The role of the private sector will be encouraged. A new centrally sponsored scheme for computer literacy and studies in schools is being launched, and other initiatives planned for encouraging IT education from school college levels. Last year, I announced the availability of 100% deduction from income tax of payments made to institutions for vocational education and training by the private sector set up in rural areas and small towns. I propose to make the same deduction available for payments to engineering institutions also. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have personally experienced poverty and faced problems in pursuing higher studies. I therefore feel that no deserving student in the country should be deprived of higher and technical education for want of finances. I am glad that the Indian Banks Association has formulated a new comprehensive educational loan scheme which will cover all courses in schools and colleges in India and abroad. Loans will be available under this scheme up to rupees 7.5 lakh for studies in India and rupees 15 lakh for studies abroad. No collateral or margin will be stipulated for loans up to rupees 4 lakh. The interest rate will not exceed PLR plus 1% for loans. The year 2001 is being observed as Women's Empowerment Year. My colleague, the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission, is heading a task force to review the programs for women. Meanwhile, I propose to strengthen the Rashtriya Mahila Kosh for providing microcredit to poor assetless women through NGOs, launch an integrated scheme for women's empowerment in 650 blocks through women's self-help groups. Start a new scheme for women in difficult circumstances like widows of Vrindavan, Kashi and other places, destitute women and other disadvantaged women groups. In keeping with government's commitment to improve the welfare of the scheduled tribes, a separate national scheduled tribes finance and development corporation with an authorized share capital of rupees 500 crore has been set up. The allocation for the schemes for welfare of scheduled tribes in the Ministry of Tribal Affairs has been enhanced from rupees 786 this year to rupees 986 crore in the coming year. Similarly, the allocation for the schemes for welfare and upliftment of scheduled castes in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has been enhanced from rupees 709 crore this year to rupees 790 crore in the coming year. Honorable members may recall my announcement in the last budget of a new group insurance scheme, the Jansri Bima Yojana, to extend social security cover to the poorest sections of society. The said scheme was launched by the Prime Minister on 10 August 2000 and has been well received. 332 schemes have been approved so far covering people in the BPL segment. I believe that the social security cover needs to be widened to minimize the miseries of our people below the poverty line. Accordingly, I propose to introduce 2 more schemes during the next financial year. A special scheme for landless agricultural laborers, the Khetihar Mazdoor Bima Yojana, which will provide benefits of insurance cover as available under Jansri Bima Yojana, and a pension of rupees 100 per month to the beneficiary on attaining the age of 60 years. In the case of beneficiaries who join the scheme at a young age, some periodical payments at the end of every 10 years are also envisaged. The beneficiaries will be required to make a small contribution towards the premium. A Shiksha Sahyog Yojana to provide an education allowance of rupees 100 per month to the children of parents living below the poverty line to meet the expenses of education during their studies from 9th to 12th standard now. Why that process has stopped, I don't know. But I would recommend to the Finance Minister that losing of the control in a selective way is a highly desirable, and to continue it if you want to ensure that productivity increases. Productivity can only increase if there is less and less restrictions and fewer restrictions. Even more than that, please note that what is not yet changed is the delay that takes place in decision making. The delay in decision making has a disastrous effect in many ways. I would say that unless the Finance Minister, or rather the entire government, makes a decisive and determined effort in this direction, they will find that many of their good policy decisions may also not produce the desired results. So far as streamlining of the fiscal and budgetary process is concerned, I have already said that the streamlining has been successful up to a point, but it is the budgetary process where the finance minister desired to have an open policy that have something in regard to say. He has been, in fact, along a budget every month in the sense that fiscal changes that are frequently being made, the way in which excise duties are being changed and changed in a significant way give that impression. Some of the changes that are being made may have really disastrous effect on industry. ये 1022 वर्ड्स के साथ डिक्टेट किया गया है, 100 की स्पीड है और फ्लेक्शन ना के बराबर है। ये आपको इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट नंबर 14 के नाम से मिल जाएगा आपको सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर। नेक्स्ट लिखेंगे 80 पे। रेडी? स्टार्ट इट। All the honorable members have been supplied with copies of this declaration, and so I shall not read it over again. I shall merely point out very briefly some salient features of this declaration. It is a short and simple document in 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph, it will be noticed, deals with the present position in law. It refers to the British Commonwealth of national and to the fact that the people in this Commonwealth owe a common allegiance to the crown. That in law is the present position. The next paragraph of this declaration states that the government of India have informed the governments of the other Commonwealth countries that India is soon going to be a sovereign independent republic. Further, that they desire to continue her full membership of the Commonwealth of Nations, accepting the King as a symbol of the free association. The third paragraph says that the other Commonwealth countries accept this, and the fourth paragraph ends by saying that all these countries remain united as free and equal members of the Commonwealth of Nations. You will notice that while in the first paragraph this is referred to as the British Commonwealth of Nations, in the subsequent paragraph it is referred to only as the Commonwealth of Nations. Further, you will notice that while in the first paragraph there is the question of allegiance to the crown which exists at present, this question does not arise later because India, by becoming a republic, goes outside the crown area completely. There is a reference in connection with the Commonwealth to the King as the symbol of that association. Observe that the reference is to the King and not to the crown. It is a smaller matter, but it has a certain significance. But the point is this, that in so far as the Republic of India is concerned, her constitution and her working are concerned, she has nothing to do with any external authority, and none of her subjects owe any allegiance to the king or any other external authority. The Republic may agree to associate herself with certain other countries that happen to be monarchies or whatever they choose to be. This declaration states that this new Republic of India, completely sovereign and owing no allegiance to the king, as the other Commonwealth countries do owe, will be a full member of the Commonwealth. I am placing the declaration before this Honorable House for its approval. Beyond this approval, there is no question of any law being framed in accordance with it. There is no law behind the Commonwealth. It has not even the formality which normally accompanies treaties. It is an agreement by free will to be terminated by free will. Therefore, there will be no further legislation or law if the House approves of this. In this particular declaration, nothing very much is said about the position of the king, except that he will be a symbol. It has been made perfectly clear that the king has no functions at all. He has been made perfectly clear that the king has no functions at all. He has a certain status. The Commonwealth itself, as such, is not a body, if I may say so. It has no organization through which to function, and the king also can have no functions. Now, some consequences flow from this. Apart from certain friendly approaches to one another, apart from a desire to cooperate, which will always be conditioned by each party deciding on the measure of cooperation and following its own policy, there is no obligation. There is hardly any obligation in the nature of commitments, but an attempt has been made to produce something which is entirely novel, and I can very well understand lawyers on the one hand feeling somewhat uncomfortable about a thing for which they can find no precedent or parallel. There may also be others who feel that behind this there may be something which they cannot quite understand, something risky, something dangerous, because the thing is so simple on the face of it. That kind of difficulty may arise in people's minds that I have stated elsewhere. I should like to repeat. There is absolutely nothing behind this except what is placed before this House. I might clear up one or two matters which are not mentioned in his declaration. One of these, as I have said, is that the king has no functions at all. This was cleared up in the course of our proceedings. It has no doubt been recorded in the minutes of the conference in London. Another point was that one of the objects of this kind of Commonwealth Association is now to create a status which is something between being completely foreign and being of one nationality. Obviously, the Commonwealth countries belong to different nations. They are different nationalities. Normally, either you have a common nationality or you are foreign. There is no immediate stage. Up till now, in this Commonwealth or the British Commonwealth of Nations, there was a binding link which was allegiance to the king. 852 वर्डों के साथ डिक्टेट किया गया है, 80 की स्पीड है, फ्लैक्चुएशन ना के बराबर है। एसएससी ये आपको इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन टेस्ट नंबर 14 @80 के नाम से मिल जाएगा, अपलोडेड है उसके अंदर।